We are back here in Birmingham for the American Tipoff. Let's talk a little bit about Tulsa women's basketball. They're a program that has been led by head coach Angie Nelp, and every time she's had this team, they've been able to produce winning seasons. Last year, they went 11-7 in conference play, 17-15 overall. This season, head coach Nelp will look to continue to lead the Golden Hurricane to win, but she'll have to do so without first-team all-conference selection Delaney Crawford, who graduated. Nelp does return two contributors from a season ago, including Maddie Cartwright and Jade Clark. There's a lot of new faces that have entered the program, including 7 transfers and 5 freshmen. We have a couple of transfers, and we have returner Maddie Cartwright, Abby Jagaday, and head coach Angie Nelp with us on set right now. Ladies, welcome to the set.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
We're excited that you're here because, Coach, we just talked about how you've been able to bring so much success to this Tulsa program. So for you, what has it been like every single year, just getting a little bit better, and how do you continue that?
Well, first of all the credit has to go to our players. You know, I'm so honored to get to coach not just these 2 young women here, but each of those players that you've mentioned that have been able to come along with us, you know, for these last 4 years. I think it goes back to our culture and really those values of our program. So whenever you look at our program, our values are based in love and trust and work, and how that's shown on the floor is through teamwork and toughness. And I think that teamwork and toughness is the staple and the identity of every team that we've had.
One of the things I really like about your program is how many international players you have. You're able to get, you know, Italy, Hungary, Canada, Australia, Croatia, Finland. Did I forget anybody? Hopefully not. But that is a skill in itself, to be able to blend different styles of basketball, cultures, languages, foods from all over the world. How does that make you guys a stronger team? I'd actually love to hear from all of you on that.
I think a really big thing is just communication, like learning each other's communication styles. And learning, like, what the difference is from what they learned from what we learned. Like, we'll go through practices and we'll be like, oh, they thought this was a timeout, but that's actually a technical, which it's kind of interesting learning some of what they get. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like, this is 3 versus this is 3 or this is 3? Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you do it. We want 3.
Exactly.
Noted. And then
for you, Abby?
Canadian international player myself. Like, I've never been on a team with this many international players, so it's been a really cool experience. Like, learning just off the court different cultures and just like getting to know the girls and how different places kind of work together. Within our program, it's been a really good opportunity.
And do you think it's helped you having so many other international players who are having a similar experience to you being on the court with those kinds of people?
Yeah, it's been like awesome so far. I even have like another Canadian teammate, Hannah Riddick, which is cool having someone from my own country. I've never had that before, so I think it's awesome to be able to play with people from all around the world for sure.
You guys were preseason, picked 8th, and I remember when we were in college, like I wanted teams to pick us low because that gave me something to play for and to really exceed our expectations and to beat everybody else. What did it feel like, Coach, for you when you saw that, and then what was your message to your team?
Well, I think we know that we have a lot of work to do ahead of us. I mean, we haven't really earned any ranking yet, and so we're excited for that, though. I think one of the things that I love is how we're growing as a team right now, and we all know that where you start may not necessarily be when you finish, and we have a program that's really focused on growth. I think we definitely use it as motivation within our program, but the main thing is that we've got to be able to maintain our focus on the process and not shift our focus to the outcome, which is what those rankings tend to do to teams, right? So as long as we can stay there, embedded in the process, and kind of those daily habits that we're going to need to create the success we want, I'm excited for our growth this year.
So you talk about the process. What has some of the messaging been like to get your team to focus on that process?
You know, I've been really fortunate. We have a group of young women that are so bought in and they're so embedded within our culture. We talk about habits on a daily basis, and we talk a lot about routines. What do those routines look like to have an elite mindset, to be an elite player? What's the commitment? What's the sacrifice? What does that look like? And it all comes down to these small details that our team does so well. But to be able to have that buy-in, right, whenever you feel sometimes that you're just distracted by focusing on the outcome. We all want the outcome. We have a vision. We have goals for where we're going, but you only get there when you get to do those little things along the way at a high rate.
Maddie, you had 32 starts last year. That was a record for starts played by a freshman. A couple 20-point games, led your team in steals a bunch of times. What is jumping out to you as the American, as the conference, and how you're going to approach it this year? Maybe a little bit guide us through your offseason, what you wanted to focus on.
I think a big thing is just showing on the court, just like hustle and getting other players to come along and follow. Because really, if something's not working, the best thing to do is just give effort and hustle and have your teammates back.
And then, Abby, you've been a couple places throughout your college career. What was it about Tulsa that you said, this is where I want to be?
Yeah, I wanted to go somewhere where like we're gonna have to work for everything and be a successful team, and I think like this was the perfect opportunity and the perfect place for that. It's somewhere where like they require a lot of work and a lot of commitment, and I think we're gonna see really good results from that.
Okay, Abby, I'm also reading that you were a high jumper for your high school's track team.
Yeah.
All right, tell us your vert, obviously. Can you guys what are we up for this year?
I think I have a pretty decent vert. I think working on it every day in the weight room with Coach Mason. But
Are
yeah,
we in the 30s? Are we 20, high 20s? What are we looking at?
yeah, it's definitely high. It's up there for sure.
All right.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, she's saying watch. Just watch.
Because that's because it's going to get even better before the
Yeah,
first game
I
of the
like
season.
that.
She's
I like
working
that.
on it.
Hold on to those cards.
Now, Coach, you mentioned some of the newcomers as well. When you take a look at them, how have they been able to help your program already within the summer?
Yeah, well, we certainly love the competitiveness that we have, right? Like there's a competitive drive that's there within our practices and within our team. We love the unselfishness that we have with this group. This is a team that's going to share the ball really well. They're going to play fast. They're going to play free. They're going to do really well on the open floor. And it's been fun to not just to see that unselfishness, but to see their skills also continue to develop on the floor with that.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the new format of the tournament? 10 teams. You know, when you look at not to look at competition in your league, but you look at a team like Rice that go from 10th, to regular postseason champs. And knowing how much more important the regular season games are, how do you approach that differently with your team?
Yeah, it does seem to have a little bit more weight given the different format of the tournament for sure. Whenever you look at kind of the conference tournaments and your goals and where you want to be, you want to make sure that you're doing all the work along the way to be able to get there, to be one of those teams that's there. The other thing that you look at is you certainly want to make sure that your team is prepared for those moments. So not just preparing to be in the tournament, but preparing to win in the tournament is going to be key for us this year.
Maddie, after your last season, I mean, Brooke already talked about some of the things that you want to work on, but you also decided to stay at Tulsa. So in an era where so many different people are transferring, why is it Tulsa for you?
For me, I just really love how Coach Angie coaches, and I think every day she's gonna push me to do my best. And every time I'm on the court, she's gonna want nothing but the best.
And Abby, I'd love to hear also from you. What is something that you're really looking forward to putting on display this season? A skill that you learned in the off season?
I think I really worked on getting my shooting percentage up this off season. Was in the gym every single day, getting shots up and having coaches helping me through that, rebounding for me. So I think I'm really excited to see that part of my game grow.
We are too.
Very excited. All right, I did this for the men. One word to describe the Tulsa women's basketball team this season. I want an answer from everybody.
Resilience.
All right.
Okay, resilience. Anybody else?
Gritty.
Gritty, okay. Coach?
It's the same. The grit and growth is our theme for this year. So I'm excited that both of them could recognize that immediately. And, it's something we're really working towards.
And are you having potlucks with all the international foods? Have you tried something from another country? What's going on with that?
Personally, they have not tried my cooking, but I'm not.
Is that on purpose, Abby? Is that on purpose?
I'm making some poutine. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I'll be making some so they can try it.
I love poutine. Oh, I'm a big
Yes.
fan. Maybe I can steal some of that
Stop
as
by.
well. So
like that.
poutine, grit, growth, resilience, all some key factors for the Tulsa women's team. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.